25 News at noon starts with breaking news.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrives in South Florida for a meeting with Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. This is video as Netanyahu arrived in Fort Lauderdale about 90 minutes ago. Netanyahu and Trump are meeting at Mar-a-Lago on Palm Beach. It is time to reset relations at critical moments in both the war between Israel and Hamas and the 2024 election. Good afternoon. I'm Tiffany Kenny.
And I'm Taylor Hernandez. Thanks for joining us here for WPBF 25 News at noon. This is the first time Trump and Netanyahu have met face to face in nearly 4 years as their relationship soured toward the end of Trump's presidency. We do have live team coverage for you this afternoon.
We know supporters and protesters are gathering nearby. We begin with our co-anchor, Natalie Pozo, who is live near Mar-a-Lago, where Netanyahu arrived just minutes ago. Natalie.
Tiffany, Taylor, and I think it is safe to say that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is being greeted right now by the former President Donald Trump inside of Mar-a-Lago, right over my shoulder here. Let's take you to Fort Lauderdale, where this all started. The Prime Minister landing around 10:30 in the morning at the Fort Lauderdale Airport in Broward County. Speaking to law enforcement, former law enforcement, one of the reasons for landing in Fort Lauderdale is to spread resources around and not to overburden one agency. Let's show you the motorcade making its way over to Southern Boulevard and then crossing over the bridge and again arriving here at Mar-a-Lago just a few minutes ago. We can tell you that the motorcade was met with some protesters who were over on Flagler, make their way over the bridge there on Southern Boulevard and were there with their Palestinian flags as the Prime Minister made his way down Southern Boulevard. We can also tell you that there were law enforcement on their bicycles making sure that the protesters could not pass the point where they were, so they were all gathered towards the bottom there of the bridge. Netanyahu's visit to Palm Beach comes just one day after meeting with President Joe Biden and presumptive Democratic nominee Vice President Kamala Harris in Washington. Both say they urge the Prime Minister to accept a ceasefire deal and find a way to release more people being held captive by Hamas. Netanyahu and President Biden also met privately with families of American hostages. Meanwhile, the vice president says she had a, quote, frank and constructive conversation with Netanyahu, affirming Israel's right to defend itself, but also expressed deep concern about Gaza's humanitarian crisis. We have live team coverage for you this afternoon. We want to start with our Terry Parker live near Southern Boulevard and Flagler Avenue. Terry.
That's right, Natalie. We are right here on the western edge of the Southern Boulevard Bridge. I want to show you that Netanyahu just drove past here on the bridge in his motorcade and lining the route. As you can see, there's probably about 30 or 40 pro-Palestinian protesters here. First, they were all gathered here at the base of the bridge. Right before the motorcade arrived, though, it was rather surprising. Suddenly, the sheriff's deputies let them walk over the bridge. I don't know how far they got east toward Mar-a-Lago, but look at the sheer size, the contingent of all of these deputies on bikes. They are on each side of the road, making sure no one who is protesting could get past this barricade on the sidewalk. This has been a peaceful protest, no problems. They've just been beating their drums. I spoke to a couple of the protesters, and they said they're here because they totally disagree with this war that's happening in Gaza. They talk about the number of children who have been killed, the innocent victims. They say Netanyahu has the power to stop it, and he's just not. They're also skeptical of the reason he's here, to see former President Trump and to see President Biden. We're going to be here throughout the afternoon, and we'll be bringing you reaction from some of those protesters. Natalie, back to you.
Terry, thank you. So it seems those protesters that made their way over the bridge, the demonstrators here with the Palestinian flags, they gathered, like we said, at the bottom of the bridge here on Southern Boulevard before getting over to Mar-a-Lago, but law enforcement did not let them get past that point. It seems that they went back over to where our Terry Parker is. We do want to continue our live team coverage this afternoon with our Angela Rozier. And Angela, you are there with some people supporting Donald Trump and also Benjamin Netanyahu.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we talked to some of the supporters for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as the Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. They're here today, also here along Southern Boulevard with their flags here to show their support and to show unity as far as the issue in Israel is concerned. We are located here just west of the bridge that takes you to Mar-a-Lago and to the island. We've been here for about 2 hours. Supporters have been showing up with their I Stand with Israel signs as well as their American flags, all here hoping for a peaceful demonstration. We did talk to some of those supporters who explained to us why they felt they needed to be here today.
I'm here, first of all, to support President Trump. Second of all, to welcome Bibi. We stand with Israel. And I want them to know that even with all the protesting and the haters, that we still stand and that we are for America.
I wanted to support Netanyahu because I believe in the right for Israel to survive and protect itself.
Now, I did talk to one supporter here today. I asked her what did she hope to accomplish by being here today, and she says she wants to encourage both the Prime Minister and Donald Trump, wants to encourage them to not listen to the naysayers and to let them know that they are with them on message. Reporting live, Angela Rozier, WPBF 25 News.
Angela, thank you. And we have been reporting live here since 5 o'clock this morning. And of course, as the morning went on, we saw that security ramp up even more and more. West Palm Beach police putting out an alert to tell people to avoid this area if they can between 10 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They said they were going to be expecting very heavy traffic. I want to bring in our traffic anchor, Yasmin Julmis, who is tracking these delays. Yasmin.
And so, Natalie, we've been seeing these delays ever since really his departure from Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International. We thought that perhaps he'd be taking I-95 northbound to Southern Boulevard, but instead the motorcade actually rode through the turnpike. So adding about 7 more miles for 57 miles in total to the Southern Boulevard exit, and then traveling eastbound along Southern, passing intersections like at Lyons and Jog, and then landing eventually at Mar-a-Lago. So the West Palm Beach Police Department did say that the greatest impacts today would be heading eastbound on Southern Boulevard and to perhaps take Forest Hill or Belvedere Road instead. And as Nathalie, as you mentioned, we'll likely see these slowdowns and rolling road closures until about 2 p.m. today. We also have a closure along South Ocean Boulevard that started on Saturday. It will continue through November. This is right near Mar-a-Lago on Palm Beach, and it all has to do with a U.S. Secret Service efforts to add added security to the area.
Yasmin, thank you so much. Yeah, so we cannot tell you that traffic is actually back open again. So we're seeing cars coming in and out right now of Southern Boulevard. The bridge is up right now, so that's why we're seeing a little bit of traffic. But yes, it is a rolling motorcade like Yasmin mentioned, so expect that again later on in the afternoon. Let's go to our Caleb Califano, who is live at the Palm Beach County Convention Center. Caleb, once the former president finishes up here with Benjamin Netanyahu, he will be at an event in West Palm Beach tonight.
We know that Trump will be speaking here at the Palm Beach County Convention Center. That will be later tonight at around 8 o'clock. Now, he will be a special guest speaker at the Believers Summit, which is a 3-day Christian conference hosted by Turning Point Action, which brings in faith leaders from across the country to give their perspective on America's current issues. Alongside Trump, Dr. Ben Carson, who worked in the Trump administration as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, will also be speaking at the conference. After tonight, Trump plans to leave Florida and head to St. Cloud, Minnesota to hold a rally alongside Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance. That will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Again, Trump will be speaking here tonight at 8 p.m. WPBF 25 News will be inside the convention center. We'll keep you updated later this evening. For now in West Palm Beach, Caleb Califano, WPBF 25 News.
Caleb, thank you so much, and you can count on WPBF 25 to bring you timely and complete coverage of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit here to Mar-a-Lago. We will be back live out here at 12:30 with the very latest, but for now, we'll send it back over to Tiffany and Taylor.
All right, Nathalie, thanks so much.
And of